Amano name. Thank you. Erev Tov, everyone. Until now in the Chumash, we have been able to identify the enemies of the Jewish people physically. By this I mean they come to destroy us. They come to make war upon us. So you have that with Mitzrayim. Egypt physically enslaved the Jewish people, drowned their children in the Nile. And then you have, when the Jews left, you have Amalek. Vayovo Amalek vayilochem b'Yisrael b'Refidim. He came to fight, to war. So war, you answer with war. Moshe answered the Mitzrim. Yoshua answered Amalek. In last week's Parsha, we had Sichon and Og. And the wars that they made upon the Jewish people. And that the Jewish people responded in kind. This week's Parsha is a different enemy. The Balak does not come to make war upon the Jewish people. The Balak is more insidious. And to a certain extent, he's always more successful. Because his attempt to destroy the Jewish people is by intellect, by knowledge, by prophecy. He hires the best man in the world to do the job. And Bilam is so arrogant and so self-confident that even when he knows that the Lord has told him that he won't be able to do it, he went ahead and tried to do it anyway. Because that's the arrogance of the elite. It's the arrogance of those who truly have talent and brains and knowledge, and who therefore convince themselves that they are beyond the reach of logic, beyond the reach of anyone. They can do it. The Rebbeinu Shalom warns him. Mi eleo anoshim. Look who hired you. So if he looked at it, he would see there are a bunch of renegades. Midianites that claim to be from all sorts of characters. Uksomim biyodom. And they have all sorts of idols and magic and slogans. So the Rebbeinu Shalom says to him in a moment of clarity, Al telech imoyim. Why are you going with them? If you think about it, you know, they're not as smart as they think they are. So then Bullock has one more recourse, and that's the natural greed that's built into people. The Torah itself says, "Ki hashochad ya'aver einei chachomim, v'yisalev divrei tzadikim." Money is a potent force in the world. And the drive for it is such that the wise become foolish. Those who should know better fall into traps. The whole world can be misled. Because there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And Bilam is so blinded by his desire for money. So he says that Balak Mimole Beiso Kesef Zohar. I can have a house full of silver and gold. So how can I turn down this opportunity? You're right, they're not nice people. You're right, I really don't believe like them. You're right, the Jewish people don't deserve to be cursed. You're right that God told me not to go, but I got a house full of gold waiting for me. And then Bilam is revealed in his true nature. The Gemara says that the Mishnah says that one of the descriptions of Bilam is nefesh rechava. He wants everything. He doesn't have limits. There's nothing that he won't do for the right price. And that is a different sort of danger. Those people don't go away from the Jewish people. They're determined to curse us. And we see at the end of the parsha that Bilam has success. He's able to destroy an entire tribe of the Jewish people. The tribe of Shimon never recovers from this. But he says such nice things. Wagner has such beautiful music. So it depends what your measuring rod is. What's important and what's not important. But the Torah teaches us that good comes from good people. And then things that come from evil people eventually end up being evil. Even if they sound good. Even if somehow it is beautiful. There's no more beautiful, there are no more beautiful verses in the Torah than the Parsha of Bilam. It's so beautiful that we have taken some of the verses and we identify with it. Tovu alecha Yaakov, Mishkan osecha Yisrael. And the Jewish people always exalt in compliments that's given to us from the outside world. We're hungry for it. It means a great deal to us. I remember as a child growing up that all the Jewish organizations would hire non-Jewish politicians to come and make a speech at their banquets and to say that Jews are good, they're good for America. Everybody went out, oh, terrific, right? Till they all became professors, and it's not so terrific. So Bilam is the symbol of that. He's the symbol that from evil comes evil eventually. You may not see it on the surface, but it's there. And that's why the Torah describes that when the Jewish people made the war against Midian, they had to kill Bilam. Because it's not only the enemy that wants to physically kill you, it's the enemy that wants to destroy you, mentally, spiritually, to do away with your basis, to undermine your values, to create for yourself situations of doubt, of self-doubt. And we are passing through such a time, a great deal of self-doubt in the Jewish world. Are we entitled to Eretz Israel? Are we entitled to make a war against Hamas? Are we entitled to everything that is said about us? And since we're not sure, so it has an effect. It weakens us. It saps our energy. That's the genius of Bilam. And it's also his arrogance. Num Bilam ben Benor, Ayodea das Elyon, he knows. He knows what's good for you. He sees the future. He tells you what's going to be great. That destroys. Only people who are restrained in their arrogance, who are modest in their approach. Only people like Moshe Rabbeinu, Onav Mikol Adam, that have humility, only they bring good to the world. Those that are Talmidov Shel Bilam Arosha, no matter how they start out and no matter what they say, eventually brings destruction and sadness and really death upon themselves as well. They are the victims of their own lives. These are important ideas, I think, that we should hold to be true and valid in times such as ours. Because there's plenty of Bilam out there. But there has to also be the Jewish people to counteract it and to build for a better world. Rabbi Hanania ben Akash Omer, Otzaka Revorku Zakos Israel. V'ficha chirba lahem Torah mitzvot. Shenemar another faith, some Yagdil Torah v'yadir.